Why, hello there. It has been entirely too long since we last spoke, and I miss you all so very much, and I'm so grateful to be sitting back down and actually filming. If you've wondered where I've been, or even if you haven't, because who am I? First of all, my name's Alora. Nice to meet you. And then I've been gone because I got my wisdom tooth removed, and it went awful and horrible and awful and just the worst experience ever. I had huge bruises on my cheeks. I even had a black eye, but I will spare you the rest of the details. I am also getting over a little bit of sickness right now. Life has really been throwing punches down at me lately, but I'm here and I'm showing up. That's what matters. Anyways, I have really missed crafting, so we must tackle a problem and do a little bit of crafting at the same time. I do not have any purse trinkets. Come here. Hi. The kitty's here. Hello. I think she's just gonna sit on my lap for now. But I don't have any purse trinkets. Not because I don't want purse trinkets, but simply because whenever I go to the store and I look at them and I think they're so cute, and then I look at the price and I just can't justify spending that much money on a keychain or a purse trinket. And because of that reason, today we are going to be fighting the consumerism of it all and making keychains with what we have at home or what my mother has, because my mom actually has a good collection of beads that I'm going to go through. So today we're making two cutie keychains, one that's a bat and one that's a cat, because I'm a creature of habit and I like what I like, okay? Leave me alone. Alright, I have two ideas for keychain charms. The first one I want to make is this cat that I made as a magnet, but more readable. And I did have a template for my cats because I've actually made quite a few cat magnets, but I couldn't find it, so I'm just tracing this one out really quick. And then the next idea is this bat from the end credits from the Stakes miniseries in Adventure Time. I need it as a keychain, obviously, so I'm going to draw out a template for that one right now. Kinda like this. And then I think for the hooks I'm going to put both on the sides because I like when keychains fall to the side, if that makes any sense. But I'm not really sure for structural integrity, so we'll see on this bat one. The next step is to go in with trusty epoxy sculpt. This is my favorite. Make sure you have part A and part B and they are mixed completely together, and for some reason one part of my epoxy sculpt was turning brown on the top. I don't know why, but once it was all mixed together you can roll it out, preferably with a rolling pin. I did not have one, so I used this can of Old Spice body spray. I would not recommend this as it's probably a safety hazard, but it really helps if you wet the rolling pin so it doesn't stick. I did not do that in my first roll and it stuck. I would also recommend, if you have it, using two of the same height things on the side, like these plastic things, to make everything as even as possible on the clay sheet. I didn't have that, so I just went with vibes. It worked too. They're not completely even everywhere, but it's okay. Once it was my desired thickness, I placed those templates I made earlier on top of the clay and I cut them out. Now that they're cut out, we need to fix up the shape since the edges are quite rough after cutting it out, and also one of the wings on the bat broke a little when I pulled it up. So I'm just fixing up that break and also smoothing the edges out with lots of water and shaping. Those lumps on the side are magnets that I'm making for household chores to make them more fun. You can just ignore them. I'll insert a picture for you though if you're curious. Once the charms are shaped how I want them, I take one of these eye hole or head pins and I stick it into the corner where I marked on the paper earlier. I decided to go with corner pins on both, and one got a head pin and one got an eye pin. Honestly, both worked fine, so don't worry too much. And I kind of messed them up a bit by pushing the pins in, so I fixed up what I could from that too. And then I just left them to dry overnight and they were solid charms. Now it's time to sand. But before we sand, make sure you are wearing proper protection, okay? Here I used a 320 grit piece of sandpaper for getting down any big imperfections. As you can see, the back of the charms dried a bit lumpy despite my efforts. So after I got it smooth enough, I moved on to a 600 grit paper to smooth it out. I also had a 2000 grit paper, but I didn't really use that one too much. I think it was fine with the 600. Right now that these are sanded and cleaned off, it's time to paint. And I'm gonna start with a gray base like this cat that I painted, but lighter so you can actually see the black on it. Because of how unsaturated in color my black acrylic paint is, it took me forever to do a base of gray. It needed so many layers of paint to be opaque, and you have to wait between each one to dry or it'll start peeling up off the epoxy sculpt. It might be because my black paint is very liquidy, but I did end up deciding to paint the smoother side of the cat charm white and then the side that was slightly more bumpy because it dried weird gray, because it's less noticeable when it's in gray than when it's in white. After we get the base down, it's time to add in the cue's face details. I decided to do basically the exact same cat face as the magnet on the white side of the charm, as I wanted one that I could actually see the details that I did on this one. And then with the bat, it actually ended up looking so much like Golbat. Whoopsies, but I still love it and it's really cute. Then for the fine details, I like to go in with a rollerball pen. I absolutely love a rollerball pen. This particular one is by Sharpie, but my favorite one is actually by Uniball. Here's a little picture of it. I couldn't find it, so I actually had to go and buy this one. I think I may have just finished all of my black ink Uniball pens because I was able to find all my purple and pink ones. I just wasn't able to find any of my black ones. For fine details and outlines, I go in with the rollerball pen, and this is where the personality really comes in and the details all come together. But you do want to be very careful. It is wet and it will smear if you rub your hand on it or if you knock it on something. You can also do this with black paint, a tiny brush, and steady hands if you're feeling crazy enough. I just am not. After I finished the details with the pen on the first side of these, I waited for them to dry for a while and then I put a good thick layer of resin on them to protect the details so they couldn't smudge anymore, because I don't think this ink ever dries. I can't remember if the Uniball one does during this process, but the Sharpie brand does not for sure. You also don't want to press down on the ink with the resin brush, and I try to be really light-handed when I'm spreading the resin. And of course, cure the resin before flipping it over and doing this whole process again if you want a double-sided charm. For magnets, I obviously don't do this part, but you can also just paint the back a solid color and leave the back empty if you want. For the bat, I did the exact same face as the other side, and then for the cat, I did a gray kitty with a cat emote face. He turned out so cute. Then I wish that I had done a thin layer to protect the lines on this side too, before I went in with the paint and did the black on the sides of the charm. But if you do decide to follow the mess that is this video, you can do that. You can make a better choice than I did. I like the look of the black edge. I feel like it sharpens up the details of the charm and it makes them look more cartoonish. Finally, I make sure all sides are resined twice because it gives such a nice glossy smooth finish, and then the charms are done. Alright, now it's time for the jewelry part. I actually haven't done much of this type of beading, but when I was a young scene emo kid, I did dabble a bit in candy jewelry. I actually found some of my old stuff while I was looking through my mom's bead collection for these chains, so that was really fun. This is a little trinket bowl made for me by a friend. I'm putting all the beads in there because they keep rolling away. Basically, for this keychain making process, I laid out the beads in many different patterns until I decided that it was cute and matching enough to go on the chain itself. And I also knocked over the beads, and in general made a mess. It is so difficult to keep track of the stupid little tiny beads, and most of them I didn't even use because they did not fit on the pin that I was using. Once I got the beads on the eye pins, I closed off the open end and turned it into a loop, and then I attached it to these keychain pieces that I actually harvested from my retired plushie keychains. After this long, tedious, and honestly motor skill challenging process, this is how our keychains turned out. How cute. I absolutely love them. I know I say that about a lot of things, but I'm very happy with how these turned out. And I decided to attach the bat one to my purse, and then I put the cat one on my microphone for my computer. Thank you all for joining me in this craft day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.